Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noah's in the gospel, broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. This clown right here by the name of Anton Daniels. Now, I'm going to be clear. I don't like this dude, and I don't really subscribe to him at all. But I will admit he does put out some decent content as he go into relevant topics concerning today's issues in the world. You know, he brings out some good information, but he's a complete fucking ditzy airhead. He's a fucking airhead, man. All right, he may be a black Edomite, because I noticed one thing about him. He always advocating for Esau, no matter how dire or how much the evidence stands out against these devils. He's always there to defend the devil, man. Okay, he got that Stephen from Django spirit, willing to die with his master no matter what. Okay, so this is a video here. It says, white man says he's tired of black people and liberals telling them to be silent. They have culture. Now, Esau, and I mentioned it at the camp last week, Esau is tired of white guilt. Okay, they're tired of hearing about the mass genocide. They're tired of hearing about how wicked they are, how much a bunch of race of devils they are. They're tired of hearing about slavery. They're tired of hearing about that Confederate shit. They want that to be buried in the sand, okay? And this guy, Trump, has justified the means of them doing just that, because when Trump got in office, you had a lot of MAGAs and liberals divided over, you know, what way the country was supposed to liberate in. And MAGAs gravitated towards Trump, but now they're changing their stance on him because Trump is turning out to be the worst president in the United States, at least this go round. You know, first, you know, presidency under Trump, you know, people had a little money in their pocket. You know, this was post-pandemic time, pre-pandemic time, you know, where things were just, you know, little shit was happening, but things were stable. But we was in the middle of a retail apocalypse, you know, and, you know, the rest is history. But when Trump assumed power again, Nero 47, that's when things started to really take a turn for the worse. But even then, Esau has been exposed as being the wicked that the Bible talks about, from mass genocides to what you call the Red Dawn, the summer of 1919, Black Wall Street. You know, you had several other massacres, the transatlantic slave trade, the Spanish Inquisition. Hell, I mean, shit, I got history. We got history on this devil for ages. But yet, this guy comes on here, and this dude basically co-signs with him, stating that, oh, whites wasn't responsible for slavery. Well, who the fuck was responsible for it if it wasn't for you? And this is another thing, too. See, when you don't know history, you can't really formulate the conclusion of what's happening, because he went in down, and I'm going to let it play, but he went into the whole concept, well, you know, it was black Africans selling Africans. For one thing, we're not Africans, bro. Okay, and Jake wasn't really selling Jake into slavery. I mean, you had some cases where Jake did sell Jake into slavery, but as a collective, we didn't really sell our own people like that. Okay, Esau, the small hats, paid Ham to go into Africa to grab up the tribes that was on the western and northern coast to send us here. But what about prior to that? What about the slave the slave trade that started in Portugal and Spain in 1507? What about that? You see, nobody wants to talk about that. What about the mass genocide of the Native American Indians? I mean, you have a bloody history, Esau. Okay, so I'm gonna let this video play for a couple of minutes, man, and we're gonna get a couple of precepts. I got a historical document I want to kind of go into, and just a couple of slides here and there, you know, and I'll try to condense this to 30 minutes, so, you know, for time's sake. So without delay, here we go.
And I saw a couple of posts about how white people have no culture. And I'm just over.
And you don't have no fucking culture. You stole everybody's culture, okay? Only culture you didn't steal or hijack. Well, you didn't call yourself black people, okay? Because you know that's not really a culture, okay? That's a negative stigma on a race of people that you deem to be black and yourself white. But you took our history as far as being an Israelite. You call yourself the Jew. You call yourself the French. You call yourself the British. You call yourself American. You call yourself the Spanish. You call yourself all these people. You call yourself the Romans, you call yourself the Greeks, but you not once have identified yourself with being the biblical nation of Edom. Okay? So let's just establish that right here.
This white guilt, white shame type stuff. I'm not advocating for white supremacy. I'm just advocating the end of white silence and the end of white guilt and the end of white shame, because our culture participated in.
The Lord hold you guilty. You are guilty. Okay, you are guilty. As what they say, you're guilty as tried, man. You are guilty, bro. All you are.
Nothing that your culture hadn't participated in previously. We didn't start slavery, but we damn sure ended it. And the only place that slavery still exists are in people of color societies in Africa and the Middle East.
Yeah, but that ain't Jake. All right, that ain't Jake, man. You can't go into that whole the homie tribe bullshit. All right, Jake. We look. Jake ain't. Yeah, Jake oppress their own people as far as on a local level, but Jake ain't calling no. Jake ain't calling no. No. Yeah, Jake is not calling no national shots, man, on anything of that nature.
The Vikings figured out how to circumnavigate the globe before the Islamic world ever figured out how to get their feet wet. It wasn't us that was going into Africa and pulling the slaves out. It was other Africans grabbing them and enslaving them.
Yeah, that's true. But those was different tribes. Those were Ham grabbing up Israelites. But the small hats paid. You financed that to happen. So don't try to act like your hands ain't guilty. And that proves that this is a fucking Edomite. Because see, Esau likes to fucking throw a rock and hide his hand, man. Okay? He'll pay you to shoot the guy and get caught. But he said, well, I didn't pull the trigger. Okay, no shit. But motherfucker, you paid for him to die. So that's bullshit. You did. You were directly responsible. Why was slave ports closed on small hat on supposed to be Israelite holidays? Who named us from Hebrews or Hebos as they call us to the color to blacks to Negro? Who changed the name of that?
We invented democracy. We invented the constitutional republic. The bubonic plague wiped out half of Europe. And what did we do? We got together and discovered Western medicine and inoculations and vaccines. I'm not saying that we're better than you, but we're damn sure not worse. There are 4 major ethnic groups in this planet. There are black people, white people, Asian people, and Hispanic people. And we are the smallest. And we are the only group that you're demanding shut up. And because we're not doing it anymore, you're just going to scream racist louder and louder and louder. And we are done caring. We are not ashamed of who we are. We are not better than you, but we're damn sure no worse. And
Out your fucking mind, bro. Who created the weapons of mass destruction? Who's genocide and slaughtered a whole nation of people and brought them from one side of the world to the next? Was that black people?
if we're so freaking terrible, then why? Why does the entire Eastern world flock to countries that we created? Answer me that.
I don't think
But nobody likes it here because you stole everything. You have all the world's wealth. Fuck you mean?
he's wrong. I don't think that he's wrong in feeling a level of fatigue, and that, and let's be honest, and I know that there's going to be people in the chat, and that's fine, because me having this conversation generates and hopefully inspires debate and critical thinking. But he's right in that the majority of white people in this country, unless you're a white apologist, is considered the enemy. There is nobody in America that is.
Man, shut your bitch ass. This dude need death, man. Fuck you. So, going back to what that dude was saying. Now, I took a couple of screenshots here, and I just want you brothers and sisters to see some things here, okay? Because he claimed that that they're not worse than anybody. But wait a minute, it says breaking. Such and such are now injected into me to get you Maxine water, right? Now, who did this? What race of people on the planet Earth has contributed to mass genocide? Was it the so-called black man? Was it the so-called Arab man? Was it the so-called Chinese man? No, it was you Edomites. Okay, peep this. It says, show me a family or photo from the 60s or 70s or 80s where the sky looks like this. Who's spraying this shit in the air that we have to breathe in 24/7? Peep this. 500 to 600,000 Americans have now lost their lives to the you-know-what, such and such. Now, this guy said it. He said it. He said, we brought inoculations to the Western world. Yeah, you've bought medicine. You've bought death medicine, man. It's a book that's out They came out a while ago called Death by Inoculation, man. And I got the PDF on it. Goes into how the AMA, American Medical Association, and how they, the Rothschilds have patented certain medicines. And, you know, instead of using holistic medicine, you got what they call allopathic medicine, I believe, which is chemical-based, petroleum-based medicines, which cancer's increased fucking damn near 10,000% since this establishment has been in the earth. And who was the board of all that? It was you small hats, man, you Edomites. Peep this. Let's see what this guy's saying.
Technological mechanisms for control we've never seen before. It's been the ambition of every totalitarian state from the beginning of mankind to control every aspect of behavior, of conduct, of thought, and to obliterate dissent. The mechanisms are being put in place that will make it so none of us can run and none of us can hide. Within 5 years, we're going to see 415,000 low-orbit satellites. Bill Gates says his 65,000 satellites alone will be able to look at every square inch of the planet 24 hours a day. They're putting in 5G to harvest our data and control our behavior. Digital currency that will allow them to punish us from a distance and cut off our food supply. Vaccine passports.
And that's crazy because now he's like, what, Secretary of Health or some shit? I don't know. I can't recall, but he's clearly juiced in. He's a Kennedy. But yet, the scriptures say that their tongue shall fall upon their own head. So if you look at what he's bringing out, he's not lying. He's telling the truth about what his people was up to. He's being somewhat transparent about it. You see? But yet, you got Anton Daniels. I guess he don't see these memos. I guess see niggas, they turn a blind eye to this shit. And for the devil to go on there and try to spew his trying to plead his cause, you don't have no cause to plead, bro. You're guilty in the eyes of Yahweh Shemi Hawashai. By association, my nigga. Yeah, you might not have sprayed the chemtrail. You may not have caused the 5G tower to go up. But guess what? Your people did, all right? And you have to suffer for it. Just like we went down because of our forefathers, hey, you going to suffer the same fate, Esau. Or that crime.
Have a series of rights, as flawed as our government is. You can still go out and go to a bar. You can go to a sporting event. You can get on a bus or an airplane and you can travel. You have certain freedom. You can get educated, etc. The minute they hand you that vaccine passport, every right that you have is transformed into a privilege contingent upon your obedience to arbitrary government dictates. It will make you a slave.
But this is the same devil pushing for that same system. Peep this. Pfizer's own very data confirmed 300% spike in cancer, 400% spike in infertility, 1,000% spike in brain disorders. Well, let's go here. Revelation 6, and I'm going to start at verses 3. It says, and when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given to him a great sword. That's talking about Esau, the so-called white man, you so-called white people. Okay, starting with your elite bankers first, your top upper echelon, your elites of your society. These are the men who formulated these plots to kill off millions of people. Okay, let's go into the Trail of Tears, transatlantic slave trade. Let's go into the Spanish-American War, or the Mexican-American War, when you framed a 14-year-old Israelite girl of killing a grown-ass Edomite man to be justified on taking Mexico and setting up different territories and taking down Issachar, man. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the Gullah Wars, man. How you know, even though our people, we helped train up the cavalry, but let's talk about that, man. How you went and you took the land from the Seminoles. Okay, let's go into the Louisiana Purchase. Okay, let's go into the French Revolution when you devils went down in Haiti and you tried to massacre Levi and got your ass handed to you. Okay, let's talk about the Jamestown massacre. Let's go into all that history, bro. There's tons of data on your people. And even they said out of all the mass shootings in America or around the world, they said 91% is of Edomite male that transpired in mass shootings, man. So the math ain't math, and when you try to put this on Jake. But let's read it again. It says, and when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given to him a great sword. Yeah. And a sword is what? An instrument of cruelty, or an instrument of destruction, or instrument of death, man. Okay, that was Esau's blessing, the sword. Okay.
Is more villainized than white people, white men specifically. Heterosexual white men is the poster child for the villain in the United States of America. Now, I can't speak for any other country because I'm not a part of their culture and I haven't lived there for my whole life. But what I do know is that here in the United States of America, when you fail, you blame white people. When you go to jail, you blame.
It is because the laws are gravitated towards Esau to lock up Jake, man. What the fuck is this dude talking about? Yeah, I mean, you know, you have opportunity you can get, but the society, the game is rigged against us, bro. What fucking part of that don't you get? See, this is what happened when you got a token nigga that make a little something for himself and he wants to suck Esau's dick. And that's exactly what this nigga is doing. Excuse my vulgarity, but still, this dude is the biggest coon I've probably come across in the last couple of years, man. Cause yeah, he put out some good content, but a Edomite, a cracker, can't do nothing wrong in the eyes of this fucking nigga, bro. This is why the Most High is gonna kill you niggas, man. I had the statistic, man. I gotta find it, but it went into. Matter of fact, man, hold on. Let me find it. Give me a second, Salakia.